So that was pretty much it for Uncharted 3. Now I want to move on to The Last of Us. Now,
Cool.
yeah, again, starting off with the team split. So now that Naughty Dog has two teams, does that mean in any way that you are like working towards, for example, yearly game releases or a smaller gap between releases? Because we already saw the gap between Uncharted 3 and The Last of Us, you know, being only 1.5 years. So does that mean in any way that you're trying to narrow it down?
You know, what it really means is we're trying to make the best possible games, and we have two teams to make the best possible games.
Okay.
You know, we've always taken the sort of it's ready when it's ready approach. You know, we don't want to rush our games out. We want them to be as polished and fun and trademark Naughty Dog as possible. So you know, the timing, release timing is always a sticky thing. You know, we may get it out sooner or later. You know, it all depends on how the development goes. Development's really sort of a finicky thing. So we tend to want to keep on the same cycle that we've been on, which is a game release, you know, every 2 to 3 years. So that's kind of one of the main goals of it. But you know, ultimately, it's going to be it's ready when it's ready.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, since The Last of Us is a new IP, so how confident were you that The Last of Us was actually going to do well and that it would be anticipated by many gamers before announcing it? I mean, you are Naughty Dog, of course. You have a big history, and you have you know, so many fans behind you that you already know that they're going to be excited, even though you're announcing a new IP or something like that. But like, were you scared in any way of people not reacting well to it or something like that?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, there was a lot of fear and a lot of just sort of questioning and going back and forth. You know, especially around the ending in a lot of ways. You know, there was a lot of internal debate, and when Neil first showed it around, people were like, "What are you doing here?" And then we slowly warmed up to the idea of how that would work. And you know, as we said, new IP at the end of a console life cycle sometimes can be, you know, a really challenging thing to do. So you know, we're confident in our ability to make games. We've been, you know, as of next year, we'll have, I think, how long is it? Yeah, next year is our 30-year anniversary, which is crazy.
Yep.
So you know, that's a long time for any game developer. So we're confident in that ability, but you know, being able to know what gamers are going to say about your game and how they're going to receive it, especially when you're making a game that's sort of as risky and minimalist in a lot of ways as The Last of Us, was a scary thing. And so we're really happy people latched onto it.
Right, okay. So one thing I personally found very interesting is that you didn't really talk about multiplayer for The Last of Us until very close to the release of the game. Why was that?
You know, I think we've said it a few times, but to really sort of just drive it home, we were testing the hell out of it, and we were just like, we were trying to figure out what was fun, what wasn't fun, where it should go, sort of in our PR and media cycles, and when we should be talking about it. Because a lot of the time, and I worked on some when I worked at some other companies, and I worked on BioShock when that launched, and I feel like when you do a new IP and it's sort of a little different, a little on the fringe, and not what people are used to, establishing that brand and that story is like, it's paramount. That's what you got to do first. And so we really wanted to just make sure people knew what we were putting out there before we talked about the multiplayer, because as you know, the multiplayer is quite different in some ways in terms of the factions, but it's also very much the same, you know, as the base brand message. But you know, like, you're not playing as Joel and Ellie, so that's quite different. And you won't ever play as Joel and Ellie in the multiplayer. So you know, that sort of thing, we were like, all right, so we're talking about these new characters, people don't know them yet, and they're not going to be in multiplayer, so how do we really introduce that in a meaningful way? And we realized the common thread between the multiplayer and the single player was this sort of post-apocalyptic, fight for survival, keep yourself alive, support your clan, support your crew thing. And we wanted to really push that and get people to latch onto that. And then we took that extra time to figure out how to make multiplayer as fun as possible and as unique as possible.
Right, okay. So are you planning to support The Last of Us multiplayer a lot? Because of course, you know, your focus will be shifting to a new game sometime in the future. The PS4 is launching soon, so you know, a part of the player base on PS3 will be moving to PS4. So how important will it be for you to keep The Last of Us multiplayer active?
It's very important. You know, we're as you saw with our support for Uncharted 3, we're very into keeping our multiplayer community alive. The content you guys create and just the chatter and buzz. If you go on our forums, you see how many people are in the multiplayer forum talking about it. And so we'll support it quite a bit. You know, as we mentioned, we're going to have DLC for it moving forward, and you'll see a lot of things coming out down the road. That'll help bolster it, and some news and announcements actually very soon that'll help make you realize some of our plans.
Yeah, okay, cool. So the final question, pretty much with the big success of The Last of Us, have you made any decisions yet on like the future for that franchise? Is it going to be a one-game thing, or have you like not decided anything on that at all?
Yeah, I mean, the future of the franchise right now is getting this the single player DLC done. We're working on done. You know, it's definitely gonna be tied into our plans in the future, and somehow, but we don't know what that is beyond the DLC right now. It's an IP. We're very happy with the success, and we know that, you know, we have an active sort of hungry fan base to get more content out there. And you know, it really does come down to a matter of, you know, I think if you look back at how the story of The Last of Us evolved, you know, our creative teams sort of just work like that, where they're trying to think about what project they want to do and what makes sense at that point in time in their situation they're in. So, you know, we definitely have a lot of DLC coming down the pipeline, and that's gonna be there.
Okay, right. Well, I mean, whatever choices you'll make, I'm sure it'll be amazing. So, yeah, it's going to be great seeing what you have in store for us in the coming time. And those were pretty much all the 10 questions. So, yeah, again, I really want to thank you for doing this interview with me. Really means a lot, as I said before. Is there anything you still wanna share with the viewers?
Yeah, I mean, I want to thank you for having me on this sort of stuff. I know that you know, we're super busy. We don't always get the time to sort of interact as intimately as we'd like with you guys and the rest of the community, especially people like you that make great videos for us. So, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. Uncharted 3 multiplayer will live on for a long time. I am beyond excited about what we're doing for the anniversary. I'm probably hyping it too much, but it's just like a personal thing that I've wanted to do for like almost a year now for the game. So I'm really happy it's going to happen, and we're excited. You know, and I might be actually shooting myself in the foot here, because we have to get sign off from Sony on some of the ideas. So we'll see how that goes. But we should have quite a bit of say with it, I believe. So it should get done. But yeah, just keep active, keep talking to us on the forums. You know, the one thing I do want to point out is that you know, you guys get frustrated from time to time that we're not giving out information, and a lot of the time it's just because we want to give it to you the best way possible, so you have the most knowledge up front. So just please be patient with us, and thank you for everything you do.
Okay, so yeah, then that was pretty much it.
Cool.
Yeah, to everyone who's watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm very excited about it, and yeah, again, I really thought it was awesome that you know, you wanted to do this with me. And then that was pretty much it. So thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I hope to see you again in my next video.